For this year's 4-job Fiesta, I decided to stream it, and that was fun. Through sheer determination, or something, I ended up doing 2 runs this year, but that's a story for halfway through the video. The people voted, and Pixel Remaster's what I'm playing on first, presumably under the reasoning that it's the version I've only played twice for this channel. Both of my runs this year were meteor runs, meaning I can get any job at any time, and in some kind of weird twist of irony, my first job was Mime, the literal last job you get. I mean, there's the advanced jobs, but I didn't opt into those, so I only have freelancers for the first handful of bosses, but freelancers are actually a good job even with no skills because of the no weapon limitation, so things aren't so bad. I did get blocked at Magissa because I was fleeing too much and became underleveled though, which is going to be a very much recurring element throughout both of these runs and the whole video. Once I beat up enough tombstones, things go down much more in my favor. It's easy for me to forget that even 1 to 2 levels early on can dramatically impact damage output when the numbers are still sub 100. By Garula, you have access to all of Tycoon Castle's weaponry, and unironically, this is where the Diamond Bell can shine the most, as a back row freelancer weapon way before you get Geomancer. With the whip and Bell's back row status and the katana's killing edge, Garula goes down easy. In Karnak, I tried to abuse the bug where you can get multiple free items, and I gotta rev up my vibrating finger for this. I think I only got 1. Fuck. One time I got 3. Garula has gifted us the power of Mystic Knight, and this is the last good thing to happen to this party. This is my favorite job, so I'm happy about it, but as we'll see, it's so much the best job we have that it completely overshadows everything else we'll ever do. Despite this, my aversion to combat once again made me a little underleveled, but it wasn't all that. I played poorly with not healing as much as I should have. I got destroyed swiftly by the Blazes and Fyras, so in the next attempt I used my turns to heal whenever he went into tornado form. I do still have a minor issue if the hand makes an appearance since it's immune to ice, but I always tried to have at least 1 non-ice blade up to get past that part. I don't think I've ever had a run of this game where the hand's Fyra didn't insta-kill somebody. The next big chunk of World 1 is very simple. Sleep Sword for Ironclaw, Blazara Sword for Ifrit, Fyra Sword for Byblos, although I did actually get destroyed by him the first time because he was insanely aggro with the wind slashes. Next attempt was much easier because he did not do that. In the minimum experience run-through of Mother 3, oh my god, what the fuck? Border Patrol, Dorm Chimera. My Death Scythe farming was much more lax this time around, since I wanted to try and keep things moving for the stream. I just grabbed 1 for now, and would grab more later if I really needed them. In a way, this was kind of a pointless thought, because I had to level grind multiple times anyway, but I did have pure intentions. It's just hindsight that makes it cruel. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to mention my next job was Berserker, so Ferris is coming in dead. 3 of my 4 jobs so far are water jobs. That's a really weird coincidence. With only 3 party members, no good healing, and no Aqua Breath, the Sandworm is as irritating as ever. He's not weak to anything, my damage is still not great, but I did discover that Shell halves the damage of Quicksand. My impression of that move was that it was just a fixed damage attack like Thousand Needles. That it's actually technically a magic move is a legitimate surprise. Does Thousand Needles get halved with Shell? I'll get back to you on that. But just like any other non-cheese run, it's just a lot of weak slashes and waiting to make sure he doesn't change as soon as you hit confirm. At least Crayclaw's here, he knows how to cheer me up. I actually don't get the death proc against the turtle, but Blazara Blade still chews through his HP pool well enough. Still weird to me that this thing is the only boss with innate Protect and Shell, an enemy that simultaneously has an ice weakness, is not heavy, and is level 5 deathable. At least the Death Scythe got the killing blow, just in the more traditional sense. I got straight fucked on the Soul Cannon though. Actually, not even on the cannon, on the launchers of all things. Not the boss launchers, the like rocket punchers and flamethrowers. My underleveled ass's Thundara blades are not getting through these guys fast enough. If I can't take down these things with 3 Mystic Knights, I stand almost no chance against the real deal. So my grinding days continue over in Crescent, so I gamble on some Death Scythe fortune. It was well worth it because after a few quickly gotten levels, my damage is approaching decent. I also went and got coral swords. I wasn't sure if they'd be a necessary investment, but I had so much extra money from the grinding that it probably was in the long run. The coral sword thunder damage weakness is not as high as Thundara, but I do have the bonus of not having to take a turn to set up, which means I can start smacking the launchers sooner. Those things are always the biggest pain. Not being weak to thunder and having just high enough HP to not die quickly so they can always ult you quickly. Plus, ult feels like it disproportionately punishes melee attackers. It still wasn't a cakewalk. I think this was the boss I lost to the most in this run, and the biggest thing was my terrible healing. So the main issue is healing, got it. So with the help of chat, we determined the best place to farm elixirs was this room in the ship graveyard. Because more than one enemy here drops them rarely, but they appear in groups often enough to get one every few minutes. The chat also had the good suggestion of just removing my armor, since all damage is percent based or sap, so that helps agility quite a bit. But really the biggest thing is just getting lucky with Berserker hitting the launchers. The successful fight was so successful it made me doubt if my strategy was bad all along, but the elixirs 100% helps, so it can be both. Archeoavis was similar. The first fight I just got straight up fucked by Frost, but the next fight went much better. Berserker and the Ancient Sword were doing good chunks of damage, anywhere from 600 to 800 per turn, while Bartz and Lena were free to use up my remaining elixirs on keeping them alive. I also have potions to heal off any minor damage, but considering he's still being a dick with Frost, that's not happening much. At the second phase, the strategy doesn't change, just keep smacking him till his remaining 2500 HP is gone. He even seems to have a little less defense, so it gets shredded faster. As for the last job... Nice. Fucking nice. Purobolos is a problem boss with the complete lack of party damage, but also if they decide to just round one detonate, that's a little unfair if you ask me. Chat, however, suggested Silence Blade to slowly chip away at them, and that worked great for preventing a rise. It doesn't do anything to self-destruct since that's blue magic, so that'll always be a threat, but if they do it one at a time and I have the turns to revive, that just speeds up the process. Mystic Knight coming in clutch again. Titan and Manticore went down easy because I'm probably over-leveled for all the compensation leveling I had to do. Big damage, lots of HP, I could tank some party hits and keep swinging no problem. My Death Scythe luck has definitely been lacking though. I had my chat vote whether Berserker Bartz could beat the Abductor, so place your bets at home and watch. He'd win, he's got this. No, definitely not. Come on, Butts, kick his ass. Ah, that was easy. Apparently this can happen to Gilgamesh 1. There's the Scythe luck. My damage for Gilgamesh 2 is still higher than normal, so I opt to press auto and sit back. The first part goes by fast, but you probably know how this fight goes. The annoying part is that the Ancient Sword takes till near the end of the fight to finally proc, but the auto strategy does work, miraculously. It probably shouldn't have. Not recommended for most parties, this is laziness at work. Drain Sword obtained, Practical Immortality is mine. Dragon Pod puts up a bit of a fight. Those flowers are lucky I can only hit one thing at a time, but old and death go together just fine. Wow, that's a morbid thing to say out loud. The Death Scythe just has it out for Gilgamesh this run. They were saving it for World 2, apparently. Atomos is a repeat of Ironclaw, just alternate hitting him with 2 sleep swords to keep him incapacitated, and I feel my under-leveled senses kicking in again, so I decide to actually fight in the Forest of Moor. Still no party damage, and I will never have that, but I'm hitting plenty hard, so that kinda makes up for it. I have the Aga Spellblade, so insta-kills are on the table if required, but that's a big MP investment for random battles, so mostly the fights just take forever. There's no surprises during the crystals, except maybe that it took 12 real-life minutes to do. If you watch my Butterfree runs on my channel, you'll know this isn't the first time that something like this has happened to me, but I really feel like luck isn't supposed to swing on an insane bell curve like this. I'll get 10 death procs in a row, and then I'll go into a 10+ minute fight only getting it once or twice. They're level 77, so like, I get it, but I've been way luckier at way lower levels. Some averages is all I'm asking. Please, no more outliers. Oh, Final Fantasy V, outlier only run. Can you beat Final Fantasy V with only outliers? I played Final Fantasy V with only outliers and it broke me. Can you beat Final Fantasy V with an outlier shoved up your ass? I got no cheese for X-Death. I'm playing the long game with Drain Sword. My damage is pretty bad here, but it's good enough to keep me at above 50% health for a majority of the fight, which is the most important. Obviously, even the Dragoon is doing this. There's really nothing to be gained with jump here, and using something like Lance for even worse healing is, well, you could figure that out. The Berserker doesn't have the same benefit as everyone else, so if she takes a big enough hit, someone's gotta step in to heal, which 100% has the chance of starting a horrible domino effect of getting behind and staying behind. This didn't really happen though. Like I said, I was playing the long game, and my item stockpile was still good enough to keep me healthy. This fight also took over 10 minutes, but that was by choice rather than by karma. Also, if you're wondering about this thing, someone in chat probably told me to do it. I'm a victim of peer pressure, but I'm also not gonna apologize for it. Drain Sword Dragoon does kind of start an unfortunate trend here though, in the ability homogenization. Our last job coming up soon is Mime, and what else is the Mime gonna do with these jobs? Definitely not equip spears and jump. Lance is pointless. Equip axes won't even be good for the strength bonus because I can just master Berserker for all the stats. Likewise, I can master Mystic Knight for auto shell. So by the end, the party's just going to be these 3 guys doing the same thing, and Berserker. And that's not even getting into how this party is 50% the same as last year's party, having Mime and Berserker as repeat offenders. It's not really a wonder why I wanted to do a second run if I could already see how the rest of the run was going to go by the midway point. I'm very glad I streamed this, I'll say that. Sleep Sword works its magic against the next couple bosses, and it's always fun to utilize Aga Blade like this. We can also see Faraga Chicken Knife damage here. The damage dealt dwarfs every other weapon so badly right now, it's not even funny. We can also continue the sleep shenanigans, but this way is more fun, you understand. Wendigo already barely ever does damage to you, so I just set my party to auto-attack 3 of the 4 to whittle it down. Berserker gets in some meaty hits here and there, but when has Wendigo ever been a fast fight? Other than the unique weapons run, I guess, but then we get into outliers again, no thanks. I tried another auto battle against a Minotaur here, it went... You got it. You got it. You got it. You don't got it. Bad. It's the battle of the idiots that can't hit each other. Okay, fine. 1 Berserker stays and Ferris can play support. That's what Dragoon is usually best at anyway. Silence, Spellblade, need I say more? Fucking finally, the submarine. Now I can get my last job. But I already spoiled what the Mime is going to be doing. The same shit. I don't even bother fighting most optional bosses because I have Flare Blade now, so that's what every single fight is gonna be. Plus Berserker with Spellblade for the Rune Axe magic bonus. I stopped by the trench to grab that flame ring near the entrance, and I discovered that most of the enemies in here are apparently counter assholes. Never actually knew that because Requiem is so good, but knowledge is power and all that. Still only going to use Requiem in the future. Same thing in Istory Falls. I'm just here to grab some stuff and then leave, but chat tells me that Runeblade can't be spellbladed, which takes some wind out of my sails. I'm not sure if this makes sense to me or not, because while you could say weapons with special effects can't be spellbladed, you can spellblade the chicken knife just fine. Super Famicom computer logic, I guess. The point is that it's not a good weapon for me in this run. Also, this happened. Let me see this. Whoa! Going up Phoenix Tower real quick to master some jobs for the Mime stats, and the rift begins. Literally every single boss goes down in the same way. Flare Blade, Flare Blade, Flare Blade. This damage is ridiculous even without the chicken knife. After the unique weapons run, I had been under the impression that pure damage numbers can't carry you through the game, and I was keeping that in the back of my mind since I had steamrolled through the rift in that run too, and Necrophobe does put up a fight since I can only take out 1 barrier per round. But my job selection has a great HP pool all around, and the lucky distribution of those holies and flares means I can keep swinging without stopping to heal until later. Funnily enough, I do have Lena using jump because the damage wasn't that much lower than her using Flare Blade with her whatever our 3rd strongest knife was. Holy Lance jump comes in clutch, I guess, but it's still the chicken knife show. Barriers are down, get your eye drops out, switch to an element and start swinging. Holy Lance actually has them beat there. Lena can start attacking immediately, but you know how this goes. Dragoon is playing support role to the real damage dealers. Look at that easy max damage. Necro only lasts 2 or 3 turns before it's over. But seriously, look at this. I'm level 32, not counting the level 1 shit, this is the second lowest level I've ever done the final boss at. The first lowest is the advanced run with levels in the high 20s, but I cheated and skipped Neo X Death with a bug, so does that really count? The first attempt at Neo was a loss though, but in one of the funniest ways possible. Alright, Grand Cross. Oh, Krill blocked it at least. Berserk and Zombie, that's bad. Oh, I think I just fucking lost. That is the most horrific Grand Cross I've ever been exposed to. Berserker Bartz does last for a pretty long time though, points for that. On the successful run, X-Death starts very aggressively with white holes and vacuum waves, and a meteor just deleting them again near the transition to Neo. But everyone does make it alive to Phase 2, with Odin and Break immediately taking out half the boss. Ferris and Krill are now more focused damage, trying to balance out whatever Bartz decides to attack, and Lena's mostly playing support again, unsurprisingly. She does manage to jump over Grand Cross, plus the effects on the rest of the party are a hell of a lot less devastating. Old basically forces Krill to be the item thrower instead of Lena, but Doom is fine because Neo can one-shot people anyway. It being delayed by 15 Final Fantasy seconds doesn't really change much. But with the long delay between Grand Crosses, there's tons of turns to get burned on chipping away their health while I go through the magic lamp down to Gollum. The fight was a really big initial hurdle that I was able to coast on till the top segments both get deleted. So yeah, Flare Spellblade can beat Final Fantasy V at the early 30s in levels. If the Mystic Knight was like any other job, I'm not really sure how doable this run would have been without getting to the early 40s. But we're only halfway through the video, or so. I don't know the timestamp exactly right now. But I did 2 runs this year, and I set 2 main rules for this next one. First, no Berserker or Mime, because I want some job diversity. 2, no Mystic Knight because it's just too good. Literally, it's just amazing at everything and dwarfs most other jobs at what it wants to do, aside from party damage at least. If Dragoon showed up again, I would have been okay with that though. They seem to be a fan favorite in an ironic way. This time we're starting with Thieves, so I steal some potions, punch Carla Boss to death, borrow some free knives, and head to North Mountain. I was semi-familiar with this start since this was how the original Worst Jobs video started, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. Forza kept taking me out before I could finish off Magissa, so more grinding. The regularity with which this happens was really starting to get to me, but with enough numbers on my side, they will go down. I've got a big pile of potions, that's my greatest asset until they stop being useful 30 minutes from now. Definitely one of the hypest parts of early game Thief is the free mithril knives and swords. I don't know why, but these steals specifically give me a great feeling in my heart. Most steals just make me go, ugh, fucking finally, when I get them. That damage upgrade doesn't make Garula a free win though, and in fact I make a devastating realization moments before death. Oh yeah, wait. I have Flea, I can get the Elven Mantle. I'm so used to not being able to get it. You don't know how good you've got it until you don't have a thief anymore. My main idea here from chat was to have Bartz as the main attacker to minimize counters, and everyone else acts as potion support. The Elf Cape helps, and the fight does take a while with only one guy slicing away at... You know, the more I look at Garula's face, the weirder it looks. I don't think I've ever actually looked at it. My brain just goes, oh yeah, it's supposed to be an elephant, and stop registering important details. But I think we're just gonna move on now. Randomize. Oh, Bard, nice. That's great for later, but it means Liquid Flame and the Castle Escape are thief only too. But hey, it's the fire ship. That means lots of free high potions, so my survivability is through the roof. Right away, I counter in the tornado form to waste his MP, and I still have lots of potions to use whenever I get hit particularly hard. The tornado keeps the 0 MP even when form changing back and forth, so in a worst case scenario, I can always try and force it back to the tornado if I need to heal. This fight does take a while, since my damage is still quite bad, but again, High Potion City. I've got time to burn. It's kind of like a mini version of the previous run's World 2 X-Death fight. Iron Claw continues to get taken out before he can transform. Red Mage, oh shit, actually was Red Mage, like for real. Man, I really can't get a break. World 1 is Red Mage's turf, that's for sure, with almost every boss being weak to an element, but Mystic Knight has that advantage as well and still got wrecked in a handful of fights. At least Red Mage can party target, I guess. Worth mentioning that getting both Bard and Red Mage meant I had to backtrack to the pianos and magic shops. That's what I get for not being proactive. It's not like I was hurting for Gil or anything. Ifrit and Byblos both go down easy. Sandworm is still extremely slow and annoying, but Cura is so nice to have. I feel like Cura, specifically, is one of my favorite spells just because of how many times I have to rely on it. Would a Curaga or White Wind be too good to have for once? Bella, the Cleric of Twilight. No, I do not remember that last episode. Ah, the game crashed. What the fuck? Hey, this seems familiar. I'm not doing enough damage to the airship cannons because I'm underleveled. Well, I do have party damage now, plus stop song, so I'm headed over to Black Flame Island. It's slow because of the low damage, but also low commitment. Plus red on everyone would be really good to have. That's marginally better. With high potions and cure, I once again play the long game, but one of the red mages gets ulted, which sucks. Bard has a better than the red mage magic stat, but can't use rods, so their Thundaras are still noticeably outdamaged. That's usually why they end up as the Cura spammer. 5 minutes of this later and the cannon finally goes down. I don't even know if the levels were necessary because it would have taken a long time for me to outright lose. Hey, you ever heard this one before? Stop song on every encounter and hold A to attack. Fortjob Fiestas must have done something to Arceoavis in the past because this year he is just a frost fiend. Even with Curas, it's not enough to withstand all that ice. The successful run was much luckier, but also much smarter. The idea is to set up Protect and Regen song early, spam Thundara until he starts absorbing it, then start physically attacking because his Thunder Absorb form seems to have the lowest physical defense. At this point in the streams, I wasn't used to having actual dedicated support jobs, so spells like Protect and Regen were not in my mindset. And really, with how the last run went in the last quarter, can you blame me? I was still in Flare Brain Rot. Once he revives, it's more of the same. Just keep swinging away because his defense is still not amazing, and that 2500 HP is gone in no time. Monk. Well, there's my DPS. Seriously, can I have any job that isn't either God tier or C tier? Monk is just the physical version of Red Mage. For now, I confuse some Galacats for Float and Stunt on Titan, Stop Song and really Stunt on Manticore, and Purabolos I get some much needed revenge from last run. While I wouldn't call Kick good in this fight, I like to take any opportunity I can to use it since it's not a good ability. Right away in World 2, I get a heavy dose of reality for being overconfident. And I hope I don't die in my first fight. Oh, I died. God damn it. When did I save? Okay, well, here we go again. This gives me the motivation to have chat change my menu color, and once again have a drawn-out boss fight. You ever get the feeling that some jobs only exist to make life more annoying for you? Red Mage strikes me as that sometimes. Like, yeah, you do get Protect and Cura. Can I also have a job that does damage? Was that in the budget? Oh, but you only take half physical damage. Yeah, I'm doing half the physical damage that any other job would be doing right now. So we've basically got a net 0 here. And just on an emotional level, I'd call it a net negative because I wish I was using the Knight or Samurai or something. Ugh, at least it's not the Dragoon again. I Libred him to see if I could figure out what the HP threshold for the second phase was, but... Alright. Not gonna look it up. If you tell me in the comments, I'll forget it the next day. Punch, 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 please let me move on. The Dragon Pod is unironically Kick's best fight. It does just over the 100 damage threshold of the tiny bastard flowers. People keep telling me that Equip Weapon Kick is actually really strong. I've really gotta try that sometime. It's like the bridge fight, but there's 2 of them.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
I have Speed Song now, which is great. Not super impactful right now, but I'll seriously take what I can get here. I want a song that makes Gilgamesh blow up. Is it too late to add that to the balance patch video? I bet I got enough ideas for a sequel video. Number 1, Bard can explode Gilgamesh. Number 2, Red Mage is unpersoned. What do you think I should make it?
Pastel pink. No. Put 4. No, in the blue one, put 4. Okay, in the green one, move it to the right just to see how it looks. Now, one... Yes, and what about the red? play around with the red. Nah, the last one. No, one less.
That's like pig. Like
One
pig
more.
pink.
One less. No, that leave it like that. That's my favorite pink.
Like this? Okay. Pink. This is definitely Naomi pink for sure. In what must just be the theme of this run, Atomos took forever because sleep took ages to finally work. The gold spin effectively doubles a character's MP, and the red mage already has a lot of it, so I've got plenty of fire res. It's just that Atomos' HP is obnoxiously high, and he slow-gunned me. Yeah, okay, this is definitely deliberate. I started having that dreaded under-leveled feeling again, so I went through the Forest of Moor killing as much stuff as I could. It's not nearly as slow as the last run or those last few bosses, but that bar is very easy to clear. Ball Castle is also great to stockpile more free high potions, and even a twin lance for the thief. I'm pretty sure a chat member reminded me of that, because that rare steel almost never comes up as relevant to me. If I want a twin lance, I just wait till I get it from Exdeath's castle. After spending time in the forest, I determined it's probably easier to farm in Drakenvale because of Requiem. It's definitely more Gil, because that's an extra 2500 every Dragonfang. The Crystal fight was another long one, but this one was self-inflicted because of my insistence on using Speed Song. Everyone's back row protected to take chip damage while my agility slowly goes up, and once I finally feel like I'm in a good place, which is about half of the 15-minute fight, maybe more, I go all in attacking one crystal at a time. The Twin Lance does over 1,000 damage per hit. I mean the two hits combined, which surprised me, and Monk and the Red Mage both punch it, with any crits being very much welcome. This party can only take one, maybe two magic attacks from these things, so speed really is of the essence, hence my obsession. The strategy does work really well, but if I had lost after waiting that long, I would have been very sad, critically sad, unbelievably sad. So now we have Krill. No, you're never gonna convince me it's Kryl, and the chat and I had the idea of making this a 5th job run, where one of the jobs gets erased once Krill joins the party. I think originally the rule, like the official rule, was that you're supposed to replace whatever Galoof's job was, but this is way more interesting. How it was set up is that I opened a different save with all the blue magic unlocked, set everyone to the current run's jobs, use roulette, look away so I don't even accidentally try to time it, and whatever it lands on is the job I replace. Ideally, I'd want Monk gone, but really I just don't want to kill off the Bard. We're gonna see what happens first. Alright. Here we go. Okay, now I'm closing my eyes, I'm looking away from the screen. Just again, you just have to trust me on this. It's not like I could time it, even if I wasn't gonna do that. Was that Monk? Did Monk get killed? Oh, thank God. Some good fortune for once, holy shit. Also, if it had killed the goblin, I think I would have just had chat decide via poll or something. We are rerolling the Earth Crystal after all. That was a completely pointless exercise. Boop. Hey, White Mage, that's actually good. An actually good job. Dual cast white magic. Now the game's too easy. Again, either God tier or C tier, but the party is 75% support jobs now. But really, why am I complaining? I love playing support roles in games. The white mage is so versatile and fun in 5. On someone's suggestion, I went down to Guido's cave to see how long it'd take to get a Staff of Light. Alright, first try. Yes, it actually was a first try. White Mage is actually Luck Mage. I don't even remember if I ended up using the Staff of Light. This was just a show off, really. White Mage is fantastic. No debates, no notes. However, getting it right now means that no one has any levels in it. Exdeath is such a force of nature that just one unit having to Curaga, Shell, and Blink everyone isn't good enough to keep up. If someone goes down, that's a whole process of Revive, then Cure, then Shell, then Blink, and with no Hermes sandals, I slowly get whittled to death. So I ran back to Ball Castle and gold needled these guys for a bit, enough to get level 4 or 5 white on one other person to let me keep pace. Who doesn't have Shell? I don't remember. Ah! What the hell? The game just closed. There wasn't even a crash message. Weirdly enough, that swung the fight in the complete opposite direction. Doubling up on the buffs immediately makes this nearly unkillable, especially with the buffs being so insanely cheap. Seriously, look at these MP costs and tell me that's fair. The white mage is like the fantasy equivalent of an electric car, while the black mage is... Hold on, let me Google something. The more I look up, the less I care. Flare costs 40 MP, that's the joke. Well, no. The Thief being our primary damage dealer now is the real joke. I can't use the monk's abilities like Barehanded or Focus, so the Red Mage is back to being nearly pure support, and obviously there's no Holy for another half hour to an hour. So this is like a more involved form of the long game boss fight, but at least there's something going on. Thank God someone told me to grab that Twin Lance, seriously. We're in World 3 now. Requiem be upon ye. Sleep worked first try against Melusine, making up for Atomos, and I get to use Magic Song before it immediately gets redundantized. Just gotta wait a bit. Okay, there. You literally cannot pay me to care about this fight. You cannot. I will not. Now I have a lot of bread. Hold on. This picture's way too big. There's Reese also. Look at that bread. I have a lot of bread now. A lot of Jimmy John's bread. Big fan.
Infinite bread glitch.
I forgot to put the mug on for Minotaur, but it's fine. I'm basically just brute forcing this shit at this point. Hoping for big swings with the chicken knife, vomit high potions like a mama bird when necessary. Omniscient, I speed up a bit to wait for the various bard buffs to work their magic, then go to town with reflected aura spells. However, funnily enough, the Fork Tower is once again the run's biggest turning point, but it's with Holy instead of Flare. The trench is a great grinding spot at least. Requiem is always great to have. And going up the Phoenix Tower again, mostly for dual cast. That's always the biggest ABP roadblock. Alright, so literally it's the same as the first run. Just spamming the shit out of Holy on any rift bastard unlucky enough to come across the unassuming party of support fuckers. Triple Holy with 25 magic and Mug Chicken Knife with 16 agility. Your lives are now forfeit. And Black and White 2. And Black and White is my favorite Pokemon game. I'm looking forward to... Oh, the game crashed. It's times like these that really do make you wonder what the deal is with MP costs in this game. Holy costs 11 with a gold pin, and can be elementally boosted with a weapon you almost have to come across. It's barely hidden. Meanwhile, Flare. 40 MP, can't be boosted, it just sucks. But on the way back after Hallie, I get into an unexpected encounter. Oh shit, Ramu, I've never seen this. I knew you could encounter him and Shiva here, it's just never happened to me before. And I don't really get why, because they're just as strong as in World 1, both in terms of being a boss and being a summon. But novelty is worth something, right? But that was just a cute distraction. Twintania is weak to Holy. Goodbye. You know none of the 5 jobs in this run can use shields? That sucks, and what also sucks is that my overconfidence from steamrolling the rift bites me in the ass again. This is one of those fool me once moments. I cannot keep getting destroyed in this fight, it's just silly. So actually having a plan. Level Song, Shell, Reflect, Reflected Holies. The Thief isn't doing anything different except for getting fucked by Irony. The Holies are random targets, but Mug can actually choose a target. And apparently the enemy Reflect is much smarter than mine, but this is just a snowball fight. Once they start going down, my keeping myself alive-itude multiplies drastically, letting me snowball into a crazy lucky double Holy on the last one. After that, hitting the damage cap with a level 100 plus White Mage Holy weakness is no problem. Necrophobe is toast. Neo, I had the Fear of God put into me by Grand Cross last time, plus I don't have Break Blade to wipe the Almaguest section. I am super prepared with setting up full party Protect, Shell, and Blink, and you already know Level Song has my back. Ferris gets hit with White Hole, and this is only notable because of something I point out at the end, but I'm just gonna let the Neo fight play out with my stream commentary. I think this fight is quite satisfying. It's not laggy right now, but it will be. Alright, here we go. Fuck you all, my guest. I'm going for you first. And you will spam the magic lamp. That does not sound like a SNES sound effect. That sounds like a GBA sound effect. Loss of the universe are in chaos. Picture of Reese and Binky. That's funny. Who said Exta? I mean, he is a tree. He's just not very tree-like right now. Big fan of the damage numbers being thrown around. There's been nothing below, like, 8,000 so far. Big fan. Yeah, this screen is pretty dizzying. Would not recommend for... It's kind of giving me a headache, even though I've done this final boss like 100 times. Alright, that guy's dead. You think I could steal... Yeah, that would be sick if I could steal the Ragnarok. Oh yeah, I should have waited for the magic lamp for Odin so I could kill the top two first. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. The plot really said X... I don't... Like, the plot, I forget what it says about X-Death, but he is a tree, like, definitively. I just forget where they say it. I mean, he's a splinter when he gets stuck inside of a krill, so... I don't know. Sildra, get him! That was pretty weak. I remember fighting Neo X-Death at 14 and laughing so hard I cried when he Kool-Aid Mans his way into the universe. Life has many doors. Somebody can somebody like link that fucking cutscene? Because I'm very curious. Alright, there's only one Neo X-Death section left, so he's going to, fuck me up if he gets the chance. Exit the tree full of evil spirits. Yeah, that sounds right. Alright, well, there you go. I beat him without taking any damage at all. I think. I mean, like, Ferris died to Whitehole, but I think that's the only damage I took. Showing that even with the lamest parties, Sing can carry the shit out of you.